Warning, there may be explicit language in today's episode. Viewer discretion is advised.
Whoa! Told you Alex wasn't dead.
Nope.
God, and sorry, Mark Zuckerberg over here.
Shut up.
But Adrian's back on the show as a guest this time because I actually found out during it was more so the Georgia game that he's actually a Notre Dame fan. So I was like, came up with this idea, and I was like,
go
all right.
Irish, baby.
I was like, let's go. But Alex, obviously everybody knows that you are from Edinburgh. You're gone because we made that crystal clear. Which the episode that dropped the other night. So that means you did not get the chance to discuss the Steelers' embarrassing loss in the playoffs. And I know you're going to want to keep it short. I know you're going to want to keep it sweet. Everybody knows the problem, and I probably know who you're going to blame first. So go right ahead.
Quarterback room sucks.
Mm-hmm.
No one wants to win. George Pickens is really dramatic.
That's a YN right there, man.
O-line's still not good enough. Defense is too expensive. And the coach has the same record as Mike McCarthy over the last 5 years with one less playoff win, but one of them still has a job and one of them doesn't. What does that have to say? I'll get more into that when we talk about Mike McCarthy, but I don't know what people probably want me to come and scream about the Steelers. I don't know. I'll leave that to Andrew Filipponi. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's at least entertaining. Team sucks. I don't know. Another year, 10-7 next year. Can't wait.
We're due for a 9-8.
Yeah. Oh, you know what? Yeah. Maybe a spicy 8-9, but still somehow make the playoffs. Maybe it'll be the first losing season.
Yeah. That would break Tomlin's. That's basically how I would kind of like imagined if Tomlin's streak gets broken, it's going to be 8-9 and still make the playoffs.
Yeah.
I guarantee it.
Maybe we'll shock everyone next year and go 11-6.
Shut up.
Steelers are just one of those teams that just always shock you and somehow make playoffs every time without either having a good season, bad season. They just find themselves like being mid all the time, you know. But
same exact place every year.
Yeah, get your hopes up for a bit.
Yep. Kind of like Penn State. Oh. So then, last question I'll ask about the Steelers because I asked this on Monday. Well, for me, Monday, Wednesday for everybody else watching.
Yeah.
Quarterback room. What now?
Skylar Thompson, baby. They already did it. Let's go.
I don't see a world you bring Russell Wilson back. Seriously.
No, probably not. I think if you can get Justin to take a contract where he's not necessarily guaranteed to be the starter, then you do that. Please, for the love of God, don't give Sam Darnold money. Oh my God, I swear, if we give Sam Darnold money, I'm gonna cry.
He's staying with the Vikings.
I think so too. And other quarterback moves, I think the next best quarterback free agents next year are Russ, who we don't want to keep, and then Aaron Rodgers and Derek Carr. So we're just gonna say a healthy none of those.
Mm-hmm.
Pay Justin enough to keep him there, and I don't know, see if he sucks or if he's good.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, so
maybe we'll finally actually suck bad enough to draft a good quarterback next year. I don't know.
Oh damn, CBS is tweaking out. You're gonna get copyrighted by CBS. But so as Alex, I can hear Joe coming back. So as of right now on CBS, the first round picks
That's where I was looking.
is, first of all, this isn't going to happen because the Giants are going to take Shador, but I'm just saying this is what it says right now. Has one
I think
Giants
Ward
picking
drafted.
Cam Ward. For the second pick, Jalen Milroe from the Browns.
That's crazy. That's
I'm
actually crazy.
I'm not gonna do every single one. I'm just gonna show or say notable ones. At 4 has the Patriots taking Travis Hunter. Then pick 6. I'm assuming they put Shador down because I guess maybe Dion will go there. I don't think he will. I don't think it's a good fit. And then Abdullah
They put him
Carter.
at pick 6 because he'll throw plenty of those in his career.
Oh, yeah. Oh God, that's clever. Pick 10, Abdul Carter to the Bears.
I should take that comment back right now, actually, because Dion Jr. might try and fight me like that Texas Tech ball boy.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm lobbing shots at Colorado guys right now.
Pick 12, the Cowboys. It has it taking Ashton Genty.
Please no. Please don't take a running back in the top 12.
I was gonna say another freaking running back.
Please, not a first round running back.
Then Alex, your boy Emeka Ibuka, going 19 to the Bucks.
I think that's a good spot for him, actually.
Yeah. Tyler,
Hey, don't sleep on Cam Scatterboo, man.
Yeah. Is he here in the first round?
Sacramento native, baby.
Would I miss him? Has the Steelers picking 21 because of course, taking Benjamin Morrison, corner from Notre Dame.
I would not be mad about that at all, actually.
No. Has pick 22, the Chargers taking Tyler Warren, and then going all the way down for the last pick of the first round, Alex, your boy Jack Sawyer. CBS wants Jack Sawyer to get some freaking grit and go to the Detroit Lions.
Let's go. Jack Sawyer is such a perfect Detroit Lion.
But yeah.
No matter God, can you imagine Detroit? They're going to get Hutch back. They're just going to have 2 big white dudes edge rushing for him. That's so funny. That's so funny. That's such 70s football. That's so Dan Campbell right there.
Yeah, good lord.
Oh my God.
But still, I'm keeping the take of it doesn't matter who's going to be under center for the Steelers. Nothing's going to change with Mike Tomlin being there. He's not going to resign. He's not going to get fired. The trade's possible, but he has a no trade clause in his contract, and he has the final say.
So he's just going to say no, yeah.
So if he's not going to resign, he's not going to go with the trade. So I'm going with that. But all right, Mike McCarthy. So I told these guys that I have a hot take with Mike McCarthy.
Nice.
Let's hear it.
I could get attacked for this. So it's worth so it's kind of worth it. If Arthur Smith takes a job as a head coach somewhere else, I think the Steelers should hire Mike McCarthy as the offensive coordinator.
As the OC?
Yeah. Think about it.
I don't think I mind that, actually.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want him as the head coach, but...
No. But, like, I seriously think as the OC for the Steelers, he wouldn't be that bad.
That wouldn't be bad at all. But he's going to get head coaching interviews, so... I mean, the likelihood's like 0.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you guys are ready for the most unexpected coach hiring of the entire century. Matt Nagy getting hired back as the Bears head coach again.
I just want Coach Robert Saleh to be on the 49ers. You know, once again,
bring him back home for real.
Bring him home.
God.
I think a lot of head coaches, are better off as OCs and DCs compared to head coaches.
I remember when Saleh was originally still the DC in San Francisco, and it was after Baker's. It was Baker's second year in the league because he got all that hype in his rookie year, and it was 2019. It was NFL kickoff. It was the Browns at the Niners, and Baker got absolutely massacred by San Francisco's defense led by Robert Saleh.
Saleh's a beast, dude. He is a beast.
He is. His defense is insane.
Yeah, for sure.
Meanwhile, every Jets fan was like, "Oh my God, our defense sucks now that he's gone. What happened?"
Yeah,
What
literally.
happened? I was like, okay.
Yeah, but
You got
shout
rid
out
of
to the
Salah and you still have Aaron Rodgers, but
You
we don't
think
need to talk
you
about
think
that.
Aaron Rodgers was behind that fire or what?
yes,
I think he definitely had a say.
yes.
I also think Woody Johnson just wants to do as many things as he can to piss off people before he goes and becomes an ambassador again and just sells the team.
Swear, but yeah. So that was a hot take. Shout out to the boys for stalling so I could finish my protein brownie. um,
Got you.
So yes, the national championship game, obviously, like I already said, is Ohio State and Notre Dame. It's this Monday in Atlanta.
National
So-
championship on inauguration day is crazy.
So let's Alex, no offense, we're gonna start with the game that I was at. Notre Dame
Go
and
ahead.
Penn State, 27-24. I'll admit, I was nervous the entire game.
Weekend.
But so here, first of all, by the way, Adrian, how do you say the backup quarterback's last name? I couldn't say it on Monday.
Steve
I-
Angeli.
Yeah,
Angeli?
I have no clue. Something
Love that
Italian,
guy.
you know.
Mhm. Riley Leonard was 15 for 23, 223 yards, a touchdown, and 2 picks. Steve Angeli, 6 for 744, because Riley Leonard did get knocked out in the second quarter and then came back. Riley Leonard, like I said on Monday, found out an Italian was going to take his job, and he said nope, and then came out and played well.
I'll try not
So-
to take too much offense to that.
So, so Adrian, obviously Riley Leonard did look like he was a little flustered in the beginning. He obviously
Yeah,
recovered
for sure.
towards the end. So what was your thoughts going through the first half, and then obviously Notre Dame started to pick up momentum, and then of course Penn State did what Penn State does best. Obviously, I don't need to explain it. So yeah, go ahead.
You know, I think Penn State does very well of moving the ball around. You know, I knew Penn State's defense was going to be freaking a struggle for Notre Dame's offense. Just because Penn State, I feel like, has been playing lights out lately. But Notre Dame was down, 10 zip?
10-0, yeah.
Yeah, 10 zip. And I was like, all right. I had to, like, I was watching it in the living room. I had to step out to my room and just watch it by myself because, you know, I was so freaking frustrated. But, you know, I think the boys, you know, came in clutch at halftime, you know, came together and was like, all right, listen, this is going to be a dogfight. They had some confidence, obviously, going into half with that huge field goal that, you know, hey, our second string QB just came in and freaking sling the rock around, you know. I was like, if no offense to homeboy, but if he can do it, then, you know, our QB1 could do it too. We just got to give him some time. And obviously, Notre Dame's been dealing with injuries, which is unfortunate. But I think a lot of guys stepped up, made plays. I did see a stat that Notre Dame's secondary didn't allow a single reception for Penn State's receivers. So, you know, drop the mic on that. You know, I think the corners and safeties been playing lights out.
Not to
But
mention you were missing your All-American corner in that game, along with
exactly.
like 3 offensive linemen, 2 edge rushers. Like,
I mean, we're missing, I think, 2 key D linemen, and then 3 obviously O linemen are down, and then we were down a corner that has been out for a bit, and then obviously Jeremiah Love's been hurt, hasn't been 100%.
had a sweet hurdle for about 2 yards in that game.
Oh, that was sweet.
It was crazy though.
When he got hurt against, I think it was USC. I was like, I knew it was his knee or something like that. I was like, damn, like, because he tried to hurdle, landed weird. And I was like, damn,
Oh,
I know
yeah.
it's his knee. But, you know, I think Notre Dame right now has been just a bunch of fighting dogs, which you love to see. Hey, Coach Freeman, you know, he got the boys freaking, he got them tough right now.
You know, I used to absolutely hate Notre Dame, but ever since Marcus Freeman took over, and I watched the occasional press conference and I watch him on the sideline and stuff, it's just he doesn't go away. He's just like in the
No.
back of my mind, like you can't hate the guy. You
Yeah,
just
he's got that
can't.
swagger. He's got that
You
You
swagger.
straight
on
up
the
can't
sideline.
hate the
Franklin,
guy.
though.
He's like,
Hey, Coach Franklin was freaking. He's
No.
he's a freaking douchebag for adding. Coming out Notre Dame for not being in the conference. Saying that he's too young to be in the freaking college playoffs. Like eat a bag
His
of you know
hairline.
what? Yeah, like come on now.
Okay, listen. You know what?
All right, James.
Big-
Cool. You're in a conference. We're not. When's the last time you won yours?
I mean, at the end of the day,
So-
they're beating
so-
teams that are in conference. That's all that matters.
So hold on. Can I? Okay, bear with me for a second. Listen. There's a part of me, I'm sorry, that kind of agrees. That would be nice if Notre Dame was in a conference. However, if they win the national championship, screw being in a conference. Who cares? We just won the national championship. Like, why does it
I think
matter?
conferences, especially with NIL and everything now, I think once that gets reformed and everything, I think conferences are going to become pretty obsolete. Just because there's too many teams.
Here's the thing, though. It's like, okay, look at Alabama. They won X amount of national championships, but like you look at their schedule and stuff like that. Like everybody's mad at Notre Dame for they're able to pick their own schedule. Like so be it. Some years it's hard, some years it's freaking kind of Mickey Mouse in the beginning, and some years it's an average schedule. But like you see all these SEC schools, they freaking play like 3 FCS schools before they even play
Yeah. Samford.
yeah, they play before they even play a hard like Ole Miss or Tennessee. It's like, come on now. Like it doesn't really matter about conference or not. I feel like, especially with this NIL, like everybody can now pay their players, and everything's gonna be kind of well distributed.
Yeah.
Yeah, but so obviously everybody that watches this show, they know when Penn State loses, we do like to bag on them. We do like to make fun of them. We do.
I always bag on Penn State.
We do. Yeah, but Alex,
We
hold on.
ND.
Hold on. I mean, we do. We like to bag on them. We like to make fun of them. And in this instance, let's be honest. That is not going to change because guess what? We were right again.
Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. Allowed like 50 yards in the first half, allowed like 250 in the second half, blew a lead. Drew Aller blew it at the end of the game.
Though
You see he was out partying on a yacht earlier that day.
Never go on a
I'm not
boat
gonna-
before a big game. Never go
I'm
on
not
a
gonna-
boat before a playoff game.
I'm not gonna say with who, but allegedly he was out on the yacht with a couple, people.
wait, put it in the chat. I'm kind of curious. It's not going to pop up on the screen. But
if I move my screen, it's gonna log me out of the conversation. But I'll send it later.
all right,
It was on Twitter.
Mhm.
He was on boat earlier that day with a bunch of emails.
Yeah, but you want to know what I got to say about that?
He wasn't locked in.
No, he wasn't. And guess what? Alex and I actually disagree on something. I actually think that this time it wasn't James Franklin's fault. Don't get me wrong.
I do.
He didn't coach a great game. Don't get me wrong. He didn't coach a great game at all. But like, I think it was the most of this blame goes to Drew Aller.
I mean, I just don't think you go for it at that situation. Like,
Oh yeah.
I think you just you kneel it out.
Yeah.
It's a simple solution. It's like,
Yeah,
hey,
it was a
listen,
flat out stupid idea to go.
do you
for
really
field
think
goal
you're
range at that
do you
point.
really think you're gonna go 80 yards in 20 seconds?
When it literally took you a 15 play drive with 13 rushing attempts to get a touchdown beforehand?
Especially after your first attempt out, Drew threw it out.
I gotta find something real quick. Hold on.
Yeah.
Oh.
Bad game from Drew Aller. Bad game of decisions from Coach Franklin.
Drew Aller decided to come back, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, then he needs
So
to
did-
redshirt,
so did
come
Bo-
back, and take a COVID year, come back, and keep coming back because you ain't going first round at this rate, buddy.
So did both of the running backs I saw.
Yeah.
Those guys are beasts. I can't even lie.
Yeah, they are monsters.
They're freaking mini Saquon Barkley's, man.
So this was Drew.
was declared
Drew
for the
Aller.
draft. Gonna go in like the third round.
So this was Drew Aller, the first play after the go ahead field goal.
Just launching it.
Now I got a screenshot, so I know that's where I swore. But
Oh,
that hurt. But yeah. So, and by the way, Drew Aller did not complete a pass to a wide receiver all game. So yeah. So if people want to keep defending Drew Aller, then
His
think about
tight
that
ends
stat.
draft stock is just
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
he's definitely a
Yeah.
first
that kid's a
rounder now.
beast.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
That kid's a
100%.
beast. No doubt.
But I just can't wait for people to be in the comments or whatever, or like people that watch this to go, oh, where was Pitt at? Yeah, when did I ever say Pitt was good? Doesn't mean Penn State's great.
The
But yeah,
dumbest argument of all
so
time.
Drew Aller was
Pitt
12.
fell off bad.
No, I know.
Bad.
I know. People were like, some people were like, "Oh my God, 7-0," and I was like, I looked at the SMU. Alex and I looked at the SMU game, and we were like, "That's the fall off. That's where it
Who did
starts."
they play in the bowl game? That was it was a pretty close game. Went overtime,
Toledo.
right? Or is that
Toledo, but they started their fourth string walk on.
eh?
And the
that was
Whitfield kid, Julian
That was,
Duggar.
that was his tryout into the portal, man.
Swear.
But
We got
Julian Duggar, who
a lot of these
unfortunately
bowl
will not
games
start
are
there.
freaking people's tryouts to get more film and
Yeah, they're
And,
bullpen games basically
yeah.
at this point. It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
which I
and-
hate, obviously. Like,
Me
I
too.
mean, I feel like if the only reason you should do you see Cam Ward? Like, he didn't. So he plays the whole game, right? I had money on this game because now I'm able to bet. He plays the whole game. Last drive, when it's a tie or they're down a score, the last drive he sits himself out because he doesn't want to get hurt. Like, come on, game-winning drive and you sit out.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
They threw the second string in, who obviously had to warm up. Freaking on the sideline. Like, heartbroken.
But yeah, so Drew Aller was 12 for 23, 135, and no touchdowns and a pick. Trash. Singletary,
Should've had
15
3
carries
picks.
for. Singletary had 3 touchdowns. Beast. Tyler Warren 6 for 75 yards. Also a beast.
What's his name? I always forget his name.
So there's a reason why we didn't talk about Penn State leading up to this game is because we knew what was going to happen and we didn't want to give it any attention. Plus, the Steelers were so bad that we needed to talk about that more. Because guess what? Hate to break it to you, but Penn State did not play anybody leading up to that Notre Dame game. I'm sorry. SMU was a good
SMU and
ACC
Boise
team.
State.
Boise State, take Ashton Genty out. What do they have? Nothing.
Nothing. Hey,
Exactly.
Boise
Which
gave
is
you guys a
exactly
game.
what happened.
Boise gave you guys a game for a little bit.
But
They had you guys scared for a bit.
But and also with SMU, people go, they beat Pitt. Yeah, again, when did I say Pitt was good?
I'm not gonna lie. SMU did disappoint me. After seeing them play Clemson, I wanted them in the college playoffs.
Yeah.
And then, I mean, obviously Penn State home game, it
Yeah.
got to SMU pretty badly. Like,
Kevin
I mean-
Jennings just played like a freshman quarterback. Like,
yeah, like the QB threw I think 3 picks in the first freaking 4 drives, and 2 of them were pick sixes. Like, come on.
yeah, Penn State was up like 3 scores. They didn't
Yeah.
score an offensive touchdown until their 5th possession.
Yeah, Drew Aller didn't even play that good either, and people thought Penn State had what it takes. Like, it
I
was
will
so
say
annoying.
that Penn State's defense was on a whole new level for sure.
For sure.
But literally, Penn State's biggest games this year was Oregon and Ohio State, and they both lost. I don't care what the score was to both of them; they still lost. But yeah. So, probably the best game I've ever been to. Honestly,
yeah,
just
for
the
sure.
atmosphere. And I'll give you a little fact too. So they introduced classic Orange Bowl people, and one of those people they introduced was Urban Meyer, and he got booed out of the stadium.
He's on the ballot for the College Football Hall of Fame this year.
Yeah, but
Just
yeah,
saw
He'll
that.
get in. He'll get in.
He
yeah.
realistically should.
yeah. But yeah. So
Horrible
now,
NFL coach.
I was gonna say he'll never make he'll never make like an NFL or like upstanding citizen Hall of Fame, but he can definitely make the College Football Hall of Fame.
God, blame TK on that one. All right. So now transitioning to Ohio State and Texas, 28-14 Ohio
Jesus Christ,
State.
we haven't even talked about this game yet. That's right.
Will Howard, 24 for 33, 289 yards, a touchdown and a pick. Quinn Ewers, 23 for 39, 2 touchdowns and a pick. Obviously, the thing that sealed it was Jack Sawyer's fumble and ran it back for the score. Yeah, Alex, talk me through that
83
game.
yards through the heart of Texas.
Either way, yeah, I texted you. I said either way, you have a team in the finals. So
Yeah, just glad it's my number one team.
yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, the offense definitely looked a
Hold
little
on, before you
shaky.
start, Alex, just letting you know, Ohio State soft.
Yeah,
Continue.
I love it. But yeah, offense came out looking shaky. Shout out to Starks DC. That guy's throwing out some pretty wacky looks. They were in a low-scoring SEC championship against Georgia, who had a healthy Carson Beck. Well, until they hurt him. A very solid team. That we knew they would kind of be monsters in the trenches. They kind of have been the past 2 or 3 years. They've put out some pretty productive defensive players in the front seven over the past 2 or 3 years, and even their back end guys like Andrew Makuba is a pretty big ball hawk back there. I mean, and they did what no one has done so far. We learned in the Michigan game, basically just throw the ball to Jeremiah Smith every time because it works every time. And Texas finally did something about it. Like I said, guys like Makuba playing over top did a great job against
triple
him.
coverage.
I mean, yeah, when you commit that many guys to him. But I mean, other guys ate. Carnell Tate had like 10 receptions, I think, in that game. We got them in a bad look at the end of the first half, and they somehow just blitzed right into a Travion Henderson screen that went 75 yards for a touchdown. That was pretty incredible. And I mean, come on. Is there any better way for Ohio State to go to a national championship than one of their players in an upset fashion almost, or in a game-clinching fashion, running down the field all by himself through the heart of the South to clinch the game? Ezekiel Elliott, 85 yards through the heart of the South. Now Jack Sawyer, 83 yards through the heart of Texas. Strip sacking his former roommate, which is so funny to me. It's just such an absolutely just like storybook season so far in the playoffs for us. And honestly,
but Michigan still got your number, brother.
I mean, yeah, but we're in the Natty, so I'll
don't hide away from. Hey, if can't beat Michigan though, that's all that matters in to Ohio State.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you're not wrong.
Michigan, who cares?
Certainly not wrong.
I will say this: it should have an apostrophe next to it. If you guys, I don't think you guys will win, but it should.
I mean, obviously,
just because you guys didn't beat Michigan. I mean, would you be satisfied with the national championship that season if you lost to Michigan also that season?
I would be satisfied, but I'd be less satisfied. I could tell you that much for certain. But honestly, and Mike knows, our buddy Bryce, who's a massive Michigan fan, said this. That Ohio State Michigan game this year should just solidify that is like the best rivalry in college football.
For sure.
Because you have one team 7-5 playing in the Cheez-It Bowl against Alabama or whatever the hell, and then you've got one team that's playing in the Natty. So that should absolutely unequivocally be the best rivalry in college football. If USC ever actually gets good at football again, then maybe we could argue Notre Dame USC. But
yeah, it's USC's Notre Dame rivalry's been a little bit of a down these past 2 years, I think.
Yeah, just because USC's been disappointing, quite frankly.
Michigan and Ohio State's always been a good rivalry. I think with Michigan, I think the reason they didn't have a successful year this year was just because they were going through that ugly transition phase of new coach and new staff. Harbaugh meant a lot for Michigan, and
definitely
losing a coach like that definitely hurts a program. And then when you don't got Stallion, around, that definitely hurts too.
Yep.
I have a theory that every team right now secretly hits up Connor Stallion and be like, "Hey, can you hook me up with
do a little scouting for me?"
Yeah. Oh, with that 100%. Like Connor Stallion came out and said that he does film reports for some NFL guys.
Wouldn't be surprised if
I will say though, funny enough, not a current classic rivalry, but Notre Dame and Penn State for a long time was like the college football rivalry. Like I asked my grandfather about
Listen,
that because
I never had an issue with Ohio State, especially like me going to school in Indiana and Kentucky and kind of I've had friends who are Ohio State fans. Never had an issue with them,
yeah,
But ever since this whole flag, in the center crap happened, and then the governor saying it's gonna be a felony and this and
so
that.
stupid,
I'm
so
like
stupid.
Ryan Day technically, this is all allegedly, he was the one that reported Michigan on this whole, their whole cheating scandal.
Yeah,
I'm all about the theories, but I just think Ohio State's soft. I just
we'll see how it goes this year. Like I said, I'm predicting the game that we've gotten between Ryan Day and Marcus Freeman the other two times that we've gotten this game, which were last year's regular season and the regular season before, and they were both barn burners.
what's gonna be funny is that they're both teams' egos gonna be so big that they're gonna be like, all right, we really don't care about passing the ball. Like, let's dominate on the run
Let's just
first.
run each other over. I love
No,
it.
literally. And whoever runs each other over first, then they're like, all right, now let's start throwing the ball.
And this is again just like a symbolic matchup because Ohio State's got the, exercising their demons with Michigan and everything like that. And then Notre Dame obviously making it back to their first national championship in a while and all of that. And some extra juice on top of this game. Since 1995, Ohio State and Notre Dame have played each other in football 6 times. Ohio State has won every single one of them.
See, I'm superstitious. The fact that you said that, watch, it's gonna change now.
Yeah.
It very well could.
You never mentioned facts like that because the opposite always happens.
Just knocked on wood. It's all right.
It's always like, oh, this guy hasn't allowed a freaking hit in 8 innings. Boom.
Bang. Out of the park.
Yeah.
Whatever.
By the way, I forgot. I doubt this is true. Speaking of baseball, there was a little rumor going around that Brian Hayes requested a trade from the Pirates. I don't know. Unless Passon said something, I really am not looking too much into it. And quite frankly, I think they should trade him because it's not a big loss at all. Anyway, so now looking, of course, at this game, I believe both teams are coming in with momentum because Notre Dame, let me tell you, the second that game-winning field goal happened and everybody rushed the field,
Yeah.
second half, that momentum went right to Notre Dame. So both teams are definitely coming in with momentum. So I think the last question I'm going to ask, because I'm sure it'll go off and everything, and then we'll give like a good 5 or 10 minutes with it. So it's going to be the same question for the both of you. What does Ohio State and Notre Dame respectfully have to do to win this game?
Adrian, you want to go first? I'll let you go first.
I mean, honestly, you kind of saw in the Penn State game that Penn State's D line and O line was just moving the boys up front. It was an ugly sight. It was a scary sight. So honestly, like going into this game, they're gonna have to find a way, especially with 2 guys down or 2 or 3 guys down, O linemen down. They're gonna have to find ways to dominate the front. I mean, respectfully, like Ohio State, as much as I hate them, and with Sawyer and stuff like that being a beast he is, you're gonna have to find a way to dominate the front. Ohio State, sadly, has been playing great ball lately. Which you gotta give them props. They've been finding ways to win. They got studs all around. So I think at the end of the day, really Notre Dame just has to freaking find ways to win, little ways to win. Kind of just like the Burrow versus Robert Morris. That's kind of how I look at it, to be honest with you. You're gonna have to find little possessions to win. You're gonna have to find little yards to win, and you're gonna have to be very creative against Ohio State, which I think Notre Dame, and I might be favoring Notre Dame, but I think Notre Dame has that top edge of being creative a little bit. But don't get me wrong, Ohio State, as much as I hate them, especially after the whole flag crap, Ohio State's a good team, and it's gonna be. I think at the end of the day, it's gonna be a great game.
Alex, before you say something, so Adrian, who on Notre Dame is gonna get an interception and almost lose the ball in the lights?
That's a good one. Actually, their safety, their strong safety. I forget his name, but number 0. He's like the AP. He's gonna have the same issue, but this time he's gonna take it for 6. Mark my word.
Gosh, but yeah. So Alex, go ahead. Same question, obviously.
I think the biggest thing for Ohio State, because I do think that we benefit from, I mean, obviously, like people are going to use it as like kind of an asterisk on if they manage to beat Notre Dame and win the Natty. One of the big asterisks on that is going to be most expensive roster in the country, whatever. So it's going to be a thing. But I do think that we can benefit from that. Obviously, we're pretty healthy for the most part. Not many guys that are super injured or anything right now. All of our best players are pretty much full tilt. But I think the biggest thing is going to be something that I'm actually a bit more concerned about now after the Texas game, especially, and something that Bryce talked about. Not necessarily like just us cooling off in terms of like play calling, like quality decreasing or anything like that. I'm worried about the idea of like where we peaked at. Because it's starting to feel, especially after the Texas game, it really feels like we topped out after the Oregon game. Because that was a big one. That was the revenge game. That was the game that we arguably should have won in Eugene in the regular season. We would have been in the Big Ten championship if we would have won that game. All that. We also would have been in there if we beat 6-5 Michigan in that game. But you get the point. So that's my biggest concern is, did we just like absolutely slam into our ceiling like 2 weeks ago, or I guess 3 weeks ago by the time the game happens. So I think, having the little bit of time off between the semifinals and the Natty is definitely good. I think that team needs to rest up, definitely focus, because I think we all know that Notre Dame's going to bring a pretty solid game plan at us. They're going to want to, they're going to want to punch us in the mouth. We're going to want to punch them in the mouth, and it's going to be a slugfest for the entire game, I would imagine. And I wouldn't have it any other way. Like I said, the past 2 games, Ohio State took a 21-10 win in Columbus 2 years ago, and then last year a 17-14 win in South Bend. They just...
Hey, they only had 10 people on the field, all right? Just letting you know.
But yeah, dude, I mean, it's just going to be... I'm excited. We've had some natties that have become shootouts and natties that, had a decent amount of points scored in them and stuff like that. We'll never forget the horrific Georgia TCU natty and all that garbage. And I think this is, quite frankly, and I think I called this last week as well. I said if the natty is Notre Dame versus Ohio State, it's going to be one of the most watched natties in the past probably decade.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
So I am excited because I really fully think no matter who wins, this game is going to be a slogfest, and it's going to come down to the last 2 minutes of the game.
So I think we can all agree, and I don't care what anybody says, that the right 2 teams are in the championship. Yeah. I guess you could argue. You can argue Georgia, guess. But...
well-deserved teams.
Yeah. And then people are gonna think, oh, Penn State bus again. Oh yeah, whatever. But yeah. So, gentlemen, good luck to your teams. I will never know what this feels like. So, but by the way, I do want to mention one thing because I don't want to go unnoticed since the season's still going on. Did you guys see the SMU Pitt women's basketball game the other night?
I saw
oh my God,
the article about it. Yeah.
SMU in the second quarter with 1:30 to go was up 46-14. Largest comeback in NCAA women's basketball history. completing a 32-point deficit to beat SMU.
Insanity.
Jeez. Oh my God. But crazy. But yeah, so all right. So thanks for watching, everybody. This Sunday, Spotlight's back with Mr. Bo Swartz. So
Bo should go. Love it.
So yeah. So Alex, I did give Dom the paper toss duties in the studio, but of course the paper toss will always be yours. So go ahead.
The paper toss will always be mine, except for that time on Essentials. What? That was a really far-fetched reference. Good night, America.